All right, the Transportation and Travel Department Transportation Engineering Program. Chapter 6, Military Installation Intermodule Facility Infrastructure Deployment Engineering Analysis. In 6.1, Installation Intermodule Facility Analysis. Purpose of the chapter provides a policy procedure and matters pertaining to the transportation engineering requirements for the Department of Defense components installation intermodule facilities. It identifies the DOD components with the responsibility and the type of the transportation engineering service available. Applicability. The regulation applies to the transportation engineering analysis of the Department of Defense component installation intermodule facilities. The scope of the regulation includes all CONUS, OCONUS, DOD installations and intermodule facilities. C, to ensure the availability of accurately infrastructure data to identify the sufficient mobilization capability, installation, and other module facilities to support the Department of Defense force projection requirements. Data policy of the Department of Defense conduct the transportation engineering analysis of the Department of Defense component with the installation intermodule facilities and support with deliberate contingency plan for determining that the required outloading receiving capability to provide information assigned with the Department of Defense components for the current status, installation, intermodule facility, transportation infrastructure characteristics to meet the Department of Defense mission requirements to recommend the transportation engineering operational alternative solution for the installation intermodule facility enhancement in the case when the appropriate infrastructure is not capable of meeting the defense peacetime contingency movement needs. Responsibility on the behalf of the Secretary of the Army, the Command of the Military Traffic Management Command of the designee will periodically conduct a transportation engineering review of the Department of Defense component installation intermodule facility. Will request from the Department of Defense components in support of the deliberate and contingency planning, provided the Department of Defense with accurate, responsive information regarding the transportation infrastructure characteristics, appropriate installation, and intermodule facilities. C, recommend the appropriate alternative solution infrastructure enhancement in the case of where the current and period plan for infrastructure is not capable of meeting defense peacetime and contingency transportation needs. 2, the DOD components will maintain liaison with the military management and all matters pertaining to the rare transportation engineering requirements for the installation of intermodule facilities and implementation following the Department of Defense policy guidance. The INSAT will take the following actions: arrange for the conduct of transportation engineering analysis with the appropriate installation intermodule facilities. Request for the Department of Defense components for the engineering services to support the deliberate planning process. Request for the Department of Defense components to provide with a quick response study of the installation intermodule facility transportation capabilities related to the deployment of planning of the contingency, execution, stability, support, and operations, military exercise, and other mission requirements needed to maintain the current accurate database of the installation intermodule facilities infrastructure characteristics to support ongoing engineering and analysis. 2, conduct installation intermodule facility transportation engineering analysis. A, determine the adequate existing of the facility outloading, receiving infrastructure information, verifying existing data and collection additional data as needed to conduct the analysis. Identify the transportation facility with the vicinity of the study of the area the best suited for the Department of Defense needs. Determine through the throughput capabilities appropriate transportation module systems. Establish the military useful use of each system component to conduct the vulnerability assessment related to the critical infrastructure protection program. Determine if the installation intermodule facilities or nearly facilities will meet the established deployment requirements, including the time constraints, recommendation, transportation engineering solution that will overcome the identifying transportation capability shortage falls. Use of data findings for each of the analysis to update the master data key of the infrastructure characteristic capability. Work with the Department of Defense on their needs for the transportation engineering analysis, installation, intermodule facilities, transportation command with the MTMC will respond expeditiously to DOD components requests for the transportation engineering analysis that are sent to the SAT, MTMC, TA, Military Traffic Management Command T, 7220 Thimble Shoals Boulevard, Suite 130, Newport News, Virginia 23606 4537. 6.2 Deployment and Training. Deployability Engineering. The chapter provides the policy procedure with the matters pertaining to the Department of Defense requirements for the transportation deployment engineering analysis in support of the Department of Defense components. These engineering analysis support the Department of Defense transportation feasible, deliberate, and crisis action operation plans. The analysis also determines the impact patterns of the military force structure, weapon system, and the DTS infrastructure on the force of projection. Applicability. The regulation applies to the transportation deployability engineering analysis of the infrastructure with the DTS scope of the service covered with the regulation encompasses the incurred engineering and analytical activities required to access the deployment infrastructure operations of the Department of Defense forces under current and future transportation scenarios. Policies, force deployment in support of the global mission of is DoD imperative. Therefore, it is policy of the Department of Defense to conduct transportation deployable engineering analysis of potential changes to the DTS. Component with the formable deliverable contingency plan process with detailed transportation deployability engineering analysis. This will also address full implications, potential transportation problems encountered by the Department of Defense, forcing and moving the home station to operational destination. 3. Conduct transportation deployability engineering analysis of proposed chances of the forces, structures, the weapons, the systems, transportation assets, the equipment relatively to the impact overall transportation deployability capabilities. Responsibilities. On the behalf of the CDRS, Transcom, the Commander of the Military Traffic Management Command Design will conduct the transportation deployable engineering analysis for the DTS, common user module networks, facilities, non-defensive intermodule facilities, transportation assets, as required of the Department of Defense components. On the behalf of the Secretary of the Army, the Commander of the Military Traffic Management Command, the designee will conduct the transportation deployable engineering analysis of the Department of Defense component installation intermodule facilities. 3. The DoD components will maintain liaison on between the Military Traffic Management Command and all material matters pertaining to their needs of the transportation deployable engineering analysis to provide with the necessary background information on the force structure development and the new equipment design, deployment time, and the phasing available common user transport assets to support the request and analysis implementation. Following the DoD policy guidelines, the SAT research has analyzed the documentation, worldwide transportation deployment of engineering capabilities of the DTS infrastructure. Also requested the DoD components develop engineering planning factors to describing the expected performance of all assets, transfer points, and operation within the DTS. The coordinator of the DoD components of the maintain comprehensive database describing the transportability, engineering characteristics, deployable weapons, military consumer, common user transportation assets, other defensive equipment, developing appropriate computer models, other simulations to provide measures of the transportation deployment engineering parameters, such as the transportation assets required at predicted time for the origin to destination movements in support of the other Department of Defense components of the mission operations supplemental formal deliberated in crisis action plan will additionally detailed in transportation deployability engineering analysis. For example, special attention is often warranted to detailed engineering analysis for port reception staging throughout the port of capabilities and of onward movement integration in support of the military theater operations. 6. Analyze the impact of changes of the weapon system transport assets, other equipment on the force of the transportation deployment parameters. You have your section, you have your reviews. Your glossary, American Association of Highway Transportation, CONUS, Department of the Army, Department of Logistics Agency, Department of Defense, Department of Transportation, Defense and Transportation System, DTS, Federal Highway Administration, Installation Transportation Officer, Major Command, Army, Military Construction Plan, Military Traffic Management Command, Military Traffic Command, Transportation Engineering Agency, National Guard Bureau, Operations Maintenance, OCONUS, Outside Continental United States, Operational Plans, Point of Contact, Port of Embarkment, Under Secretary of Defense Acquisition, Technological Logistics, United States Army, United States Air Force, United States Marine Corps, United States Navy, U.S. Transcom Command, Section 2, these are special abbreviations. The commander of the U.S. Transcom and the commander-in-chief of the Transformation Command, Federal Highway Lands, continued. And that is the DoD Transportation Engineering Program.